done fairly decently at a fair amount of SCG tournaments. It was a deck that was being tested a lot by Channel Fireball last year, and the inclusion of Kitesail Freebooter is really what we're looking at here. But he's going up against a deck that has all the removal in the world. Maybe not all of it, but a fair amount of it. Also, the Restore Balance player would like to thank y'all for expressing interest in Restore Balance. He actually got the buy this round. So this is what we've got. We've got Jund, we've got 5-color humans, and one of these players you're going to see next round. We'll see who it is. And Mike's opener has Aether Vial, Unclaimed Territory. Looks like a Manus Rider, Kitesail Freebooter. So a lot of his pieces, it does look like there's multiple Aether Vials. Redundant Aether Vials are really not what you want to see in your opener. I actually used to pilot this humans build. If you go back to one of our past streams up on youtube.com/EttonGames, you will see I was playing a Kitesail Freebooterless version because that tech had not happened yet. And still did very well with it. Still ended up pretty high in that tournament. So humans has gotten enough over the years because, you know, there's a creature type. If there's anything that they need to tack on to a creature, they can always just make it a human. Ooh, Mike looking to mulligan that hand, actually. The redundant Aether Vial probably pushed it over the edge. But yeah, it's the tech of Kitesail Freebooter, a flyer that also strips a card out of your opponent's hand, has been phenomenal for this specific deck list, and Mike's really taken a liking to it. He usually plays a control list, so that should tell you something about what's going on the 5-color human side. Now, as far as we're concerned with Jund, Aaron always likes to play the classics. You're going to see things like Dark Confidant, Liliana the Veil. He'd play Bloodbraid if it was allowed. That is the way that Aaron has described it to me. He has a page in his binder that is called his Make Modern Great Again page, and it just has things like Stoneforge Mystic and the Bloodbraid Elf. There's a Deathrite Shaman in the middle of the page, but we both know that's not going to happen. Alright, Aaron's going to scry to the bottom, Mike's going to scry to the top. Aaron's going to bobble, targeting himself, seeing if he wants to fetch away his draw. He's going to lead off with Blooming Marsh. You're going to see Aaron be very meticulous. He's going to draw at the beginning of Mike's turn. Mike's also going to draw for turn. Looks like that was a Razor Verge Thicket off the top. See a Meddling Mage in the back. He's going to see Noble Hierarch come down for Mike, and he's just going to shift the turn back over, and that's going to get Fatal pushed at the end of Mike's turn. Kind of a Bolt the Bird situation, but Fatal pushing the Hierarch. Alright, this is going to be a fetch from Aaron. Possibly dropping himself down to 17. We'll see if he opts to shock himself. He has a Thoughtseize in hand. Aaron and Mike both very meticulous. You'll, if you look at our past videos, you'll see Mike during the standard on Fridays. He does perfect math. I mean, he'll beat his opponent down to 0 9 games out of 10. This is going to be Dark Confidant. Aaron looking to pile on some advantage. Not quite worried about firing off the Thoughtseize. This is going to be Cavern of Souls naming humans. It's going to be Kitesail Freebooter. And is going to take a Thoughtseize. We're going to see Tireless Tracker and Raging Ravine out of Aaron. It's going to be a reveal. He reveals a land off Confidant. He's been revealing lands all night. So he takes no damage, gets the extra draw. Plays Liliana the Veil. He can make Mike sacrifice the Kitesail Freebooter, and he will. He'll get back his Thoughtseize, and he'll attack for 2. Mike's going to go down to 18. Liliana the Veil, major advantage push here for Aaron. We'll see what Mike has. Hopefully he can deploy a hand where he plays 2 things in a turn. It's going to be a Horizon Canopy coming down from Mike. Just looking at Meddling Mage. He knows Aaron's hand, so you can name something like Tireless Tracker. You can name the Thoughtseize. Meddling Mage. I'm gonna guesstimate that he named Tireless Tracker. Ooh, Dark Confidant, revealing Dark Confidant. So that's gonna drop Aaron down to 17. Correction. Aaron should be at 15 off the fetch shock earlier in the game. Dark Confidant's going to attack for 2. Mike's not going to block. Liliana is only at 1 loyalty counter. Aaron's going to play Thoughtseize. He's going to take 2, go down to 13. We see a hand of Thalia's Lieutenant, Thalia, Heretic, Cathar. Let's see which one he finds more detrimental to his game plan. I believe that Mike wrote down Tireless Tracker as the card that he... It was a safe call. He knew what the card was off the Kitesail Freebooter, so... That's kind of the wombo combo in this deck. Ooh, Aaron's going to pile on another Dark Confidant. He's going to discard the Tireless Tracker. And Mike's going to discard the Thalia, so he is counting on those 2 Thalia's Lieutenants just powering through damage. Alright, Mike's going to draw for turn. This Reflector Mage seems to be the draw. Alright, Mike's going to lose 1 off the Rising Canopy, drop himself down to 15. So it looks like it's going to be a Reflector Mage turn. He's going to Reflector Mage Dark Confidant back to Aaron's hand, kill Liliana, and pass the turn back to Aaron. Aaron's going to get the trigger off Dark Confidant. He's going to take 1 off Traverse. I believe he has Delirium active. He for sure does with the Bauble, Land, Creature, and Planeswalker. So he's going to be able to utilize the card he just drew, the Traverse the Ulvenwald, for massive advantage. He lets him search for any creature in his deck. Alright. Let's see what Aaron wants to do. It's going to be Traverse. We'll see what he ends up searching up. I imagine he'll deploy it this turn. It's going to be Scavenging Ooze. This Aaron's looking to gain back some of the life and ride this Dark Confidant out. He still has the other one in his hand, so he can really ride out the advantage. He's going to play Scavenging Ooze. He doesn't have a green up. Okay, this is a potential green off the Bloodstained Mire, and he's just going to ship the turn back to Mike. Mike's going to untap, draw for turn. Alright. And you'll see both of these players pause a fair bit at a lot of important parts in the game. Like I said, both of these players extremely meticulous. We've seen Mike do perfect damage time and time again. This is his first night with 5-color humans. Cannot stress that enough. So this is maybe not a list that he's completely used to, but he's still a very good player. Alright, this is going to be Thalia's Lieutenant. That's going to trigger. It's going to put a counter on the Reflector Mage and the Meddling Mage. Mike's going to get aggressive. He's going to attack with a 3/3 Meddling Mage and a 3/4 Reflector Mage. Aaron has another Dark Confidant in hand, so Aaron's just going to take the 3 from the Meddling Mage. Drop himself down to 10, then he's going to drop himself down to 9. He's going to fetch at the end of Mike's turn. Alright, this is going to be Stomping Ground coming down tapped for Aaron, so he's going to untap with 5 mana here. 3 of which represent green. He also has the Raging Ravine, which could be another advantageous card in this matchup just because it allows you to attack with having a minimal board. Alright, this is going to be an Inquisition. He's going to see Mike's hand. He's going to take that Kitesail Freebooter. Alright. He's going to tap 2. He's going to play out his other Dark Confidant. He's going to pass the turn back. So he still has 2 green open. He can eat 2 creatures out of Mike's graveyard and gain 2 life. Mike's been drawing pretty live, though. Alright. Looks like it was another Horizon Canopy for Mike, so he's going to sacrifice it to draw. Alright, and that's going to be a Champion of the Parish coming down from Mike. That's going to trigger the Thalia's Lieutenant. Mike not seeing an opportunity to attack there. He's just going to ship the turn back to Aaron. Aaron's going to eat 2 creatures, so Aaron's going to gain 2 life here, go up to 11. Scavenging Ooze getting a little out of range here. Finds a land off the Dark Confidant. Draws for turn. I do know that a lot of Aaron's sideboard is geared to beating combo matchups. A lot of his main board is geared towards matchups like this, so we may see minimum sideboarding. That's a Liliana of the Last Hope coming down. He's going to plus targeting the champion of the bear, so that's going to take care of that champion. 2, that's going to be a Kitesail freebooter. It's going to trigger the Thalia's Lieutenant. Ooh, we see another Dark Confidant and another land for Aaron. So no takes off the Kitesail freebooter. Mike just doing some math here, seeing what attacks, if any, he would like to line up this turn. Yeah, and he's going to go all in on the attacks. Realizing the Liliana is going to provide a lot of advantage over the long run. He's going to throw that Scavenging Ooze in front of the Thalia. Thalia's Lieutenant is the 3/3. Scavenging Ooze is a 4/4 currently. Alright, and he's going to throw this Dark Confidant in front, and he's going to gain 2 off the Scavenging Ooze before damage, but then he's going to lose 3, so he's going to lose 1 total this turn. Alright, Mike's going to lose Thalia's Lieutenant, Aaron's going to lose Dark Confidant, and they're going to pass the turn back to Aaron. Aaron's going to untap. He has the Raging Ravine open to him. It's a 3/3 that once it connects, he gets a +1/+1 counter. Alright, Aaron shuffling through his hand, seeing what options he has available to him. Looks like we're going to see a plus targeting the Meddling Mage. It's going to give it -2/-1. So currently it is a 1/2. Alright, and that Scavenging Ooze coming in for 5. This is a very aggressive Scavenging Ooze. Coming in for 6, he's going to eat another creature. So it's going to gain him back up to 11. That's going to drop Mike down to 9. That's going to be Tarmogoyf and Dark Confidant. And Mike's seen enough. This is a little too much for him to have to power through. And yeah, that's going to be game. Aaron's going to take game 1. Like I said, his main board is very geared towards this sort of matchup, and we saw him ride the advantage of Dark Confidant throughout that match. For anyone that doesn't know, Dark Confidant is 2 mana, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you reveal the top card, and you take damage equal to the mana cost of the said card, but we saw Aaron hit a fair amount of land, so really is just card advantage. Things like Scavenging Ooze can give you life later in the game. Mike looking at his sideboard. Let's see what Aaron sides out. Looks like he's looking to side out some of his earlier damage dealing spells, things like Thoughtseize. I'm surprised he has so many cards set aside that he would possibly like to side in. Maybe they're just possibles, because like I said, a lot of his sideboard seems geared towards either affinity or combo matchups. They're not really geared towards beating Mike's main deck. Maybe we'll see something like Collective Brutality replace the we'll see something like Collective Brutality replace the Thoughtseize, just because he has the effect to gain life, which could be relevant later in the game. Yeah, I'm seeing all the Thoughtseizes coming out. Just to let everybody know, off of that Horizon Canopy for Mike, he has cards coming in tomorrow, and we, not tomorrow, Monday, but we do allow up to 10 proxies here at Games and Hobbies. A lot of these players are testing for pretty big events, and that was actually the matter of, like, someone wanted to test some cards in their sideboard, and this is how it was brought to our attention. Someone wanted to test some cards out, but they didn't necessarily want to buy the cards yet. Online. So what they decided to do was ask me if they were allowed to proxy, and I said as long as the proxies were known to your opponent, like as long as when you play it, you tell your opponent what it is and it is clearly marked as what it is, like it's just explicitly written, stuff like that, of course. Because why not be able to test something out, and then you test it and it doesn't end up working out the way that you would like it to work out, you know? What would be the point of buying it then? So I actually think like some number of proxies, especially at the store level non-REL sanctioned events. Looks like Aaron was looking to read Kitesail Freebooter, the exact wording on it. Wondering if it has the, maybe wondering if it has the Fiend Hunter or Oblivion Ring text where, like, if it's targeted something but you deal with it, the thing stays exiled forever. Which I don't believe that it does, because they fixed a lot of that particular wording. Alright, Aaron likes what he sees here as far as his sideboard configuration. He's going to shuffle up. I believe what we saw was like Thoughtseize is coming out for stuff like Collective Brutality, maybe a bit more damage-based spells out of the sideboard. I can't imagine there's... Like I said, I can't imagine. Maybe he was just replacing cards with arguably better cards that do similar things. I don't even know if Collective Brutality gets there, though, because it just doesn't hit off of the Duress effect, because all of Mike's deck is creatures, but it does provide the -2/-2 and the Draining Gain effect, so I imagine that that might be something that Aaron's in the ballpark for. So it doesn't exactly replace the Thoughtseize in terms of disrupting Mike's hand, but it is very good in terms of dealing with what Mike has out. I think Mike was looking to get rid of stuff like Manus Rider. Yeah, and he likes what he sees. He's gonna bring in a lot more what looked like lower cost creatures. And we've got game 2 on our hands. Going into game 2, Aaron is up a game on Jund against 5-color humans. Mike's really looking to push this into game 3. Both players are currently sitting at undefeated. I believe they maybe are... They're not our only undefeateds. There are 2 other undefeateds in the form of the interesting blue-white deck I was telling you all about that, like, uses Sword of War and Peace and just kind of attritions your opponent. And who we saw last round, Ryan, on Affinity. Alright. Mike shuffling up, both players probably discussing the intricacies of the matchup, as they both do frequently. Alright, let's see if we can both get him to keep 7 here. Well, getting to 6 kind of both plagued them last game. Looks like Mike sided into Dark Confidant, which is really interesting, trying to provide himself with some long game advantage. Alright, he's going to have Unclaimed Territory naming humans, and he's going to pass the turn back to Aaron. It's going to be Blooming Marsh. Traverse the Ulvenwald. Aaron's going to go find a basic land because he doesn't have Delirium. Let's see what basic Aaron decides to find. Alright, and it's going to be a basic swamp, and he's going to ship the turn back over to Mike. Mike writing down that Aaron has a swamp. Alright. Mike's going to draw for turn. That's a Razorverge Thicket. A lot better than Horizon Canopy in terms of it not dealing him damage yet. Mike's going to tap 2. He's looking about deploying this Dark Confidant, and he's going to. Alright. He's going to pass the turn over to Aaron. Aaron's going to untap. Bauble, targeting Mike. He's going to see what Mike's next draw is. Looks like he saw something that's making him think. Oh, and that's going to be a Fatal Push. They're both going to draw for turn. So it looks like Aaron's trying to get himself closer to having Delirium for future traverses. Alright, that's going to be 3. Mike's going to take 1, and that's going to be a Mirran Crusader. It's going to be a very good card in the matchup, considering it has protection from black and from red. It doesn't have protection from that, though. Aaron's going to play Liliana of the Veil. He's going to minus, and Mike's going to have to sacrifice a creature. Mike's going to have to sacrifice the only creature, even though it's pro-black. Mike is not pro-black. Mike's going to take another 1 to cast another Mirran Crusader and pass the turn back over. The double Mirran Crusader was really advantageous for Mike. It really worked out for him. Alright. See what Aaron's got. This is a 2-2 double strike. Pro red, pro black. And I don't imagine Aaron has anything in green past creatures that'll be able to deal with this. He's gonna have to play Liliana the Veil and Minus. Now he has Delirium. Alright. Mike looking at a pair of the same Thalia. Those are both legendary creatures. Oh, pro black and pro green. Thank you very much. I have not played... Thank you, Necro Bargain. I don't play with Mirran Crusader as much as I probably should. I'm playing Green White Company, but it doesn't play it in the sideboard. And before that, I was a greedy combo player, so... I do know that Aaron is boltless, I believe, in his list. He cut Bolt because he doesn't think that our meta calls for it, which I think is a fair assessment. A lot of other people are cutting Bolt as well. A Meddling Mage. It's just going to be a blind Meddling Mage, actually. Let's see what Mike ends up naming off of this Meddling Mage. Does that possibly say Goyf? Can't quite read what that says. Alright, Aaron's gonna play Collective Brutality. See if he chooses to escalate. It doesn't look like he is. He's just gonna give -2/-2. Oh, I think that's that Ooze. Okay. So yeah, Scavenging Ooze coming down for Aaron. They're both going to have to discard. Mike's going to discard the redundant copy of Thalia. And Aaron's going to discard Engineered Explosives, which I know he doesn't play main, so that must have been an inclusion once sideboarding. So Collective and Engineered coming out of the sideboard, both putting in work for him in this game. Alright, let's see if Mike wants to take damage off Horizon Canopy. He's going to. He's going to drop himself down to 17. He's going to have to deal with the Scavenging Ooze. It's going to be Thalia. It's going to be Thalia's Lieutenant. One of the more flavorful plays. So now that is a 3-2 first strike. Aaron, it is worth noting that Aaron has multiple targets and has 2 green open, though. Ooh, Fatal Push, making quick work of that Thalia. Alright, and Aaron's going to fetch with Verdant Catacombs. And we see just the power level of Jund being able to... Actually, Mike plays Abzan as a secondary deck. And, yeah, Mike's seen enough with the double Liliana. Both players are just going to scoop up their cards. And Aaron is going to take it with Jund 2 games out of 2 over 5-color humans. That was pretty textbook for what Jund's looking to do. That was the games. That was that was pretty standard. I think they're gonna go over sideboards possibly. And we'll take a quick second to spy on the players and see what they may have boarded in. So Fiend Hunter came in for Mike. Unknown card that was proxied. Yeah, the Collectives, the Engineered. Huntmaster came in for Aaron. Okay. It must have been a recent inclusion. Haven't seen that one out of him in a while. Aaron talking the intricacies of the matchup as they both do. Ooh, okay, so Kitchen Finks. Oh, Kitchen Finks Engineered 2 Collectives. An Anger, I believe. And a Huntmaster of the Fells were what came in for him. And he got rid of all of his early hand discard spells, which are typically what you slide out anyways in the more creature-based / mid-range matchups, and 1 Tireless Tracker. Oh, Grim Lavamancer. Okay, that was the That was one of the cards. Wasn't Anger, it was Grim Lavamancer. So interesting sideboard from Aaron. Did not know he played Huntmaster or Grim Lavamancer. I'm used to seeing most of the Affinity sideboard. Escape Shift. He played Escape Shift last round, tore them apart. Right, Necro Bargain. So let's talk about this. He is devoting X amount of spots to play Mishra Baubles to turn on to the Delirium. He is using that for the Delirium / Traverse package. And I think actually what we can do for y'all is we can actually get Aaron in here, because Aaron is super meticulous. Let me get him in here for an interview, because he probably will be able to explain his reasoning better than I can. So let me get him in here. Alright, so this is Aaron, who you just saw playing Jund, and he's going to answer Necro Bargain's question.
So, and I'm not even sure if it's correct, because it is 7 slots, and that's a lot, because we run the 3 Baubles, and then we run 4 Traverse. Mm-hmm. The idea is that we can run just 1 Raging Ravine, and then we don't run a whole lot of extra lands. Like, we can cut down to 21 lands.
Okay.
So we're a little more threat dense, and then we can search out whatever we need to. We can get a Scavenging Ooze in the matchups like you saw.
Yeah, it paid off greatly.
Yeah, and it's great. In the matchups that are really bad for us, like Tron or Valakut and stuff like that, we can actually chain the Fulminator Mages with Liliana the Last Hope. So the idea is, go get your Fulminator Mage, kill a land, then minus your Lily, pull the Fulminator back. You just get a lot more live draws, so that actually becomes like a valid plan.
So it's worth it to slot Mishra's Bauble in as long as you're able to tutor either your better sideboard options or your better cards in the matchup, is what I'm hearing from you.
Basically, yeah. I mean, Bauble doesn't really take up a slot.
It does replace itself.
Right. It does make mulliganing a lot harder, but the math doesn't change at all. I mean, you're still, you're still this percentage to hit or miss or.
And can you explain why maybe a deck like Jund versus Abzan, as far as Grim Flayers are concerned? We see, like, when James shows up with Abzan, we see him play Grim Flayer. We see some of our other Abzan players play Grim Flayer, but typically you actually don't see it in Jund list.
I actually don't like Grim Flayer. I like Confidant a lot more. And as long as you keep your threats, or I'm sorry, as long as you keep your curve reasonable, I think Confidant's way better.
Okay, Necro Bargain wants to know, what threats do you play main then?
So we run 4 Tarmogoyf, 4 Confidant, we run a Scavenging Ooze, and then we run 2 Tireless Trackers to grind.
So just the 1 Scavenging Ooze? Just the 1. And so that's the advantage of the Traverse package.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can just go grab
the best one, the first one is the best one, for sure. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So how many Tarmogoyfs was that again?
All 4.
All 4?
Yeah, we would probably run 7 if we could.
I mean,
Like-
and I imagine from what we saw, that was probably one of your better matchups, right? Just a more creature-heavy matchup.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially main board.
That's what we came here to do.
I was like, I don't even know what he sideboards in because his main board is just so geared for this matchup.
Yeah.
Talk
we
about
get,
your
like-
sideboard options. I saw it was interesting, like things like Grim Lavamancer. Like, I understand the reason behind them, but like the reason why they're actually in your sideboard, is it because you can tutor them?
Exactly. Yeah. So you get to run more one-ofs and get a little bit more value out of them because of the traverse package.
Okay, so we see this in decks like Brendan Scapeshift. I don't know if you've ever looked at his sideboard, but he plays a lot of one-of creatures, but Summoner's Pact makes
Right.
those.
Exactly.
You just go
Yeah.
grab them.
Yeah, you grab them when it's convenient.
How many Fulminators sideboard?
We run 3 Fulminators in the sideboard.
Oh, so the land matchups are really bad for
They're
you.
really bad. if you have a lot of Tron and Valakut, this probably isn't the deck to play in that thing. And then we run 1 Huntmaster Necrobargain. Yeah,
okay.
we just run the one.
Yeah, I
to
was
save
I was
slots.
saying during the round, I was like, wow, I didn't even know he had a master sideboard guy. I'm used to seeing your more like combo based sideboards because
Right.
you
Yeah,
know.
that's what we see a lot of.
Yeah, and especially like I was watching you play against Brendan during that game 3, and it was just like chaining Fulminators, like you said with
Mhm.
Liliana the Last Hope, really became advantageous for you.
And against Burn, like you can go get that second Kitchen Finks, or if you've
I like that. I
if
like
you've
that a
curved
lot.
out correctly, you can go get the Huntmaster at that point.
Absolutely, I like that a lot. So, what is the specific advantage? Or are you on the fence about the argument between Abzan and Jund in the current modern format?
Current modern format, I think Jund is better.
And why do you think it's positioned better?
I'm not a big fan of Lingering Souls right now. I think we got a question.
Okay, let's look at Necrobargain. Traverse with baubles and just being able to silver bullet value creatures and lands is a super good idea. So he's gonna have to steal it and try it.
Makes sense. No.
Yeah, I mean, it like once you explain it, it makes a lot of sense. You can board in a lot more things in terms of having the one-ofs that you get to go grab that are just like your key pieces in the matchup.
And I think part of it is like don't get too cute with it. You know, I mean,
Yeah, you don't need to put like Thrun in your sideboard.
exactly.
Like-
well, but you can.
I mean,
if,
yeah,
if
yeah,
that's what you're worried about is the Jeskai control, you can run that single Thrun. They'll probably let the Traverse resolve, and
Right.
then you're pretty much golden.
Yeah, that's true because they figure they'll just be able to counter whatever you go grab, and then yeah,
And
you don't counter the card draw spell, you counter what they drew. with
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So I think Lingering Souls is well positioned, but only against Death Shadow. Is that a correct assumption? It's only the one deck that it's really putting in work against.
to me, the metagame has already adapted to Death Shadow. I don't think we need to target. I don't think we need to target Death Shadow anymore. We need to target the hunters of Death Shadow. Death Shadow is
Right.
prey right now.
And what would be the hunters? Things like Storm.
Storm. Well, no, Storm is that next level right now. Like humans is a good.
Oh yeah,
option
humans
right
is
now.
preying on.
Valakut is a great option right now.
I mean, we're seeing, and that's what I was saying during the match. We're seeing someone like Mike who's played a lot of control recently,
Hmm.
and then they're shifting into decks like humans just because it has so much play against what's currently going
Yeah,
on.
absolutely.
And in stupid affinity.
My affinity matchup's great.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I am. How many cards do you have in your sideboard
I run
dedicated to affinity?
Well, I run 4 actual, like, because I run 2 Grudge, I run a Vandal Blast.
I imagine things like Kitchen Finks come in, right? Possibility? No.
Because none of the combat really happens on the ground.
That's true too. They have a lot of
it's
the air.
all of
play.
it's in the air, or it's the unblockable
Signal Pest,
yeah, it's a
Etch Champion,
Etch
Signal
Champion, yeah.
Pest, things like that.
yeah, because they're gonna
That's
board
fair.
out their Masters of Ethereum and everything like that. So
Yeah.
your best bet to win is like some removal. The Liliana the Last Hope does work again, which I think is a busted card right now in the meta.
It actually does a lot of work because it kills most anything, and what it doesn't kill, it just completely neuters. like,
Right.
like
Yeah,
it's a very good
and it's
card.
the reason that Jund can actually contend with Abzan right now, because they play Lingering Souls and you answer with Liliana the Last Hope. And while I mean I don't think you get ahead, it does. You reach parity. You reach pretty close to parity.
So we're most likely gonna see you next round, and you'll be either playing Adam, which what is this deck that Adam is on? 'Cause
I don't know.
you don't. I every time I look at it, I'm like, I have no clue what this is. This like blue white weird.
Oh,
war-
Adam?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's like
Adam's-
weird Sword of War and Peace deck, and
I run a 2-4 split. I do 4 Veil, and then I do 2 Last Hope.
Has the new ruling really helped you out?
Yes, absolutely. That would not be possible
Without the new ruling.
If it wasn't for the new ruling.
Yeah, I mean, being able to have both out on board, I've walked by a couple games and seen that,
Yeah.
and we saw Mike just scoop to it. I mean,
Oh yeah, as well he should. If I'm discarding engineered explosives against humans, he's in really bad shape.
Yeah, I mean, you literally get to plus target to kill something, plus for them to either discard what they have remaining, or minus to get rid of the bigger thing that Hope doesn't kill.
Yeah,
I mean, it.
And I think Ooze was already
really
on
good.
the table at that point, so it was only a matter of time.
So your potential matchups are either Affinity
That's fine.
or Adam's deck.
Oh god, I don't know what to call that thing. I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, reflector mages and meddling mages and what is it, the 2/3 flash counterspell guy,
Spell Queller.
like, those can just accidentally get there. So that I would much rather play against Affinity.
Yeah, and we see Adam, like I was explaining, he's playing a blue-white get there. Is
Yeah,
what it seems
I don't.
like.
It's like a
lone
blue-white
missionary main
mid-range,
board.
Yeah.
Like a very, very mid-range. It's like if it's like the deck that wishes that Stoneforge was legal. Like
For sure.
like that's probably what we're looking at.
Yes, all of those are main.
Yeah, all main deck.
In fact, so when I started with the deck, I started with Kolgun's Command in the main instead of the Liliana the Last Hope, and I slowly moved.
Any K commands?
No, I don't run any of them. I think Liliana the Last Hope is
It's just the
It's
far
just better.
superior, and that's the
Yeah.
only thing you would
'Cause-
consider slotting it.
because K
for.
Command is you run it because you either get to kill small creatures or you get to recur your threats.
Yeah, you get to double on Affinity's board, right? You get to destroy an artifact and deal 2.
And it is Kolgun's Command is better against Affinity specifically, but I think everything else is. I think Liliana the Last Hope is better than Kolgun's Command in all the other matchups.
Affinity's the coolest modern deck. I don't know if I agree with that one.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll maybe see next round, or we'll get to see something completely new, depending on how Adam does. So we're actually going to thank Aaron for coming in here,
Thank you.
and we're gonna see you next round.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, everybody, and we will be right back. Hello, everybody. Chad here from Metin Games and Hobbies. Just letting you know that we unfortunately are not going to be streaming a final round here. Both of the top players have decided to split, and none of the other ones currently are going to want to be on camera. We have people that are leaving for the night. It's a holiday weekend. Everybody's a little bit tired. So, unfortunately, I would like to thank all of y'all for joining us. And, yeah. Y'all, thanks, Necrobargain, for getting us a great interview with Aaron. And y'all have a great rest of your night. Sorry we were unable to deliver on... It would have been Affinity versus Jund. So, yeah, the players just ended up splitting. So, y'all have a good night.